Greetings. I'm just popping in to share my perspective on like masculine and feminine energies because I was watching Teal Swan on, I don't know if you call it a podcast when it's a show. Like sometimes like catching up with these terms relating to the internet and technology is not my thing. Is it a podcast when it's like a show on YouTube, or is that only referring to people who are talking, but then you can film it and show it on YouTube too at the same time? I don't know. I'm going to call this an internet talk show. Anyway, I'll put a link for it. I used to watch Teal Swan way back years ago. She's another one of those controversial figures. People either love her or hate her. I personally love her. I think that she has a lot of wisdom to offer. She's a super, super smart person on top of, I feel like, having access to other dimensions of awareness, spirituality. Jordan Peterson is a Gemini, and so is Teal Swan. And Jordan Peterson is a very smart person. I don't deny that he's really intelligent. So he's definitely got something to offer as far as society goes, but I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. My point is Teal Swan is super intelligent and also has access to a lot of wisdom, I personally feel. And years ago, she had talked on her channel about her perspective on the masculine and the feminine energies and how we're in this sort of like transition phase of going from the patriarchy to hopefully a society where these two energies are balanced and not overcorrecting and going into a matriarchy. Because I have been interested in traditional Chinese medicine. I haven't done it in a long time. I used to be really into Qigong. I need to get back into that. And it's all about the balancing of energies. Too much of one thing and too little of another creates imbalance. That's what the word means. And so on the show I was watching this morning, she's talking with this woman again about her perspectives on the masculine and the feminine energies. And I feel like she is way ahead of her time on this. And it would behoove you to listen to her on this. So to start off with, I love Christ's message, okay? But there is a lot of negative that has come from organized religion in the name of Christianity. And I think that there are a lot of beautiful, wonderful, open-hearted Christians out there. But there's still a lot of that outdated, imbalanced, maybe you could say old school kind of Christian energy out there. And how do I want to put this? So I definitely see and value the place that the masculine and the feminine energy has in life and the idea that they should be in balance. So, and Teal Swan points out in this talk show that we don't want to go back to the 1950s. We don't want to go back to the patriarchy. The patriarchy was not a good thing. That was not balanced. Okay? Women were not allowed to own property. Women were the property of their husbands. Women could get beaten by their husbands and nobody gave a shit. That happened well into the 60s, 70s. It's still kind of going on a little bit. It's gotten better. So the patriarchy was not a good thing. We're in this, okay, so the feminist movement, and she brings this up, had a place. You know, the 1960s were a really big time for, you know, rebelling against old systems that didn't work. That has a place. Society is not meant to stay the same. The nature of this life is change. Everything is always changing and morphing and growing and evolving, okay? It's about evolution. So things do need to change. Okay, so that energy of the 1960s, the feminist movement, that all the war protests, all of that, breaking down the walls, people saying, no, we are not doing it the same way anymore, was good. And that has a place, and that will continue to have a place. So, and she also brings up such a good point. So the feminist movement had a place, but also we're in this weird imbalance phase where men don't really know what they're doing. You know, I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, but like the energies in general, the feminine, the masculine is kind of like, okay, well, what do we do now? Right? So I've definitely felt the pressure. I would love a lucrative career where I could support everyone. I don't have that right now. I am making money, but I'm doing my best with what I've got. Absolutely, I can say that. But I also feel the pressure of trying to bring in as much money as I can while also I'm, you know, all the responsibilities for the house would fall on the woman in the household still. And that's not the case for every household, but overall, that part is still lagging behind. And so women are ending up feeling like, okay, well, I can't do everything. I'm expected to do everything. And I'm not dissing any men out there. There's a lot of men who are. I'm just calling it like I see it. I've definitely felt those pressures, and I know a lot of women have felt those pressures of trying. You have to fill both of these roles at the same time, and it's not balanced. And so I have a reverence and a respect. So it takes a masculine and a feminine energy coming together to create a life. There is a sacredness to that kind of a union. And just because I love and support transgender people doesn't mean that I don't see the value of those two energies and the place that those two energies coming together has in society. Love and acceptance and kindness is what I strive for above all else. And so I believe I have perspectives on why there are transgender people. They're my own perspectives. And I think it's actually a lot more complicated than people make it. And the love and acceptance piece is a non-negotiable for me on that. And sticking up for people, for them, when people are being unkind to them is something I will always do. But like I said, I see, so in ideally, we're in this transition phase. We're kind of not sure where we're going. We're not sure what the future looks like. I would like to see a society where there is that balance of the masculine and feminine, and love and acceptance for people who don't quite fit into that picture. So one thing that Teal Swan was saying in this talk was that I thought was so beautiful, and I feel like is so true. It's kind of a mess right now as far as feminine masculine roles. Going back to the 50s is not something I'm interested in. Going back to the patriarchy sounds yucky. So in a balanced society, the masculine and feminine coming together, they offer different energies in their own, partnerships, also just to society at large. So women will offer a type of energy to the masculine that the masculine is missing, and vice versa. And you can have this beautiful union between people, but then also just you see it ripple out into different aspects of society. I feel like I've said everything I want to say about that for now. I just want to be clear. Like, I know that there's people out there who are really afraid that we're getting rid of gender roles. I don't see that as a positive solution. That is a very important part of the human species. The love, the gentleness, the openness is also so important. So important. We cannot forget that part of it. It is a beautiful 80-degree day. I'm going to go take a jog. I hope you liked this. Thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. We are one. I love you.